Hi, Capricorns, and welcome to your November 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk about your month ahead. It's a lovely Scorpio season evening as I'm filming this reading for you all. I hope that it will yield some nice results for you. I hope that you are having a nice time. It's a very thin veil that we're working with right now, so I do think that we're liable to have some nice messages come through for this month. So, Capricorn in November. As usual, I will do some intuitive messages for you, followed by a week-to-week tarot forecast and an extended reading on Patreon. Let's get straight into it. So, intuitively, I think that the tone is getting a lot better in your experience now. So, like, a lot of the pain points that you were having, a lot of the difficulty, a lot of the overcooked stuff that was coming up for you is fading away. And there's a lot cleaner perspective coming in for you this month. As we get closer to your season, we're 2 signs away right now. We've got to get through November and most of December, and then we'll be getting to your solar return in late December and January, where you will probably have a totally new world at your hands. And you should already be seeing a lot of progress towards that here in November. The main thing that I'm feeling for you is try to pay really close attention to what still isn't feeling good here. What takes more effort than it should? What is something that you used to feel was constructive or productive for you that now elicits a feeling of burnout or now elicits a feeling of hardship? Try to recognize that and give yourself the respect to understand that it is that way. You've got this 5 of Wands coming up along with the King of Swords reversed, the World reversed. There's something of conflict and sort of a feeling of like nonsensical experiences coming together, and it's like maybe delaying a certain ending that you need or delaying progress in your life. So you should really be starting to see, as we move into this last part of 2022, a greater opportunity for basically labeling certain practices that you have, labeling certain commitments, labeling certain choices as good or bad for you now, which should really start to affect your decision making moving forward. I feel that Scorpio season for you is an important time of reassessing how you're empowering in your life. So what your sources of motivation, sources of energy are. Try to reassess that and understand if you like that being your source of energy right now. And also try to not be too forceful with your energy or too forceful with what you know that you have to do here. Sometimes you have to pull back, or you have to not force yourself to do things that you haven't wanted to do for a while, as it feels that there is a harshness with the Saturn-Uranus squares right now to being too rigid or too pushy with your energy. So you want to kind of pull back a little bit here, and you want to also readjust your spiritual commitments right now as well. I feel that something that used to be a source of very strong spiritual strength for you now is different. The Hierophant and the Moon reversed. So you're also getting really clear. So King of Swords reversed. That which was once confusing clears up this month, and you get an entirely new kind of spiritual significance to what you're setting your sights on right now. And that spiritual significance is, I think, what a lot of this month is about, like just the new perspective, the new lens, the new tone on your life. Also, I think that you're looking at a much more polished experience coming up. And by the time we get to your time of the year, that's going to be a lot of the questions coming up for your season and your subsequent year ahead. Like, how do you polish some of the things in your life a little bit more? How do you get that like nice coat of cellophane on to the outer layer of what you've built and constructed? And then, yes, like, what are you going to create next? There is like this feeling of like, what next here? I think a lot of the confusion, or a lot of the animosity even that you feel has built in your experience, is from not putting a certain deadline onto something, or from not putting away something that you don't feel good about anymore. So we have to maybe see that in November, or we have to see a deadline, or we have to see a willingness to reconnect with a new adventure or a new pathway for you. And that's going to be a very spiritual thing for you moving through November. But yes, Capricorns, let's talk about your week to week in November. Okay, in the first week, Capricorns, you have the Hierophant rooted down by the Five of Wands. So you are fighting for a new type of spiritual significance. There's a feeling of not just allowing something to be the way it is. Five of Wands is about conflict, but it can also be about like creative conflict or even like sports or some type of conflict for fun as well. It's not always like a negative or unexpected conflict. You might be competing for some type of recognition here. Also, it feels like your knowledge might be put to the test against other people's. So you could be maybe in some type of academic competition, or there's a likelihood of maybe being in a war of words with another person, with those two cards coming up. At the end of that, though, you are getting some type of key. The Hierophant is the symbol for a key. Of course, that is in the art of the card as well. So it's a major arcana card, and it means that you're unlocking something, or through this conflict, through this competition, you are getting a new door opening for you. So some of you might be competing for a scholarship or competing for a grant or some kind of door unlocker, and it looks very good. And I really like this for Capricorn, actually, like taking your logic to the next level, taking your language to the next level, really refining and sharpening your communicative skills and also your spiritual understanding of progression as well, and what it takes to get to the next level of your life. Week number 2, Capricorns, you have the Moon reversed, rooted down by the Queen of Cups. So yes, that is also going in alignment with what I was talking about sharpening up the mind, sharpening up the expression, sharpening your identity even here. Really incredible. And I've just been loving this. This started coming in towards the end of October, right around that eclipse. And this is collective. It's not just about your sign. But there was this strong need within the collective to sharpen up and to clarify and refine what they're working on, and to try to move out of their previous confusing headspaces. And that is coming in for you. The Moon reversed is about cutting through illusion. There could be like lies that you learn about in the second week as well. Like you might find out that something wasn't true. You might find out about false gossip, or you might also see that something at its core is not very good, but might be packaged well or might be presented well. The Moon reverse is about getting past the packaging and really seeing the truth of what's inside. Okay, so definitely take a look at diet as well. Queen of Cups and Knight of Pentacles are about health. Queen of Cups being more about emotional health, and the Knight of Pentacles being more about physical health. So they're, of course, they're very intertwined. And you might have something that you don't realize is bad for you, like something that you're eating every day or something that you're exposing yourself to every day. Even like some kind of media or some kind of game or some type of... it could be like just what you're watching or what you're seeing could be more toxic than you realize it is, or could be having a negative long-term result for you. So take a look in that. If that is the case, you will know it in the second week, and the Queen of Cups will really give you an intuition about what is and is not good for you. As I think that's a big part of your November, is understanding that in a new way and starting to change with Scorpio season and these big eclipses happening, starting to change and transform your actions or your intake or whatever is off, okay? Week number 3, the King of Swords reversed, rooted down by Knight of Pentacles. Okay, yes, there's another level of sharpening. So you see where there's been confusion. King of Swords reversed is about confusion. And it's also about unclear ideas or unclear expressions. So you might have some type of language, I don't know, in like legal papers or in like terms and conditions. That's coming up in the month of November as well. Like what we're agreeing to, what we're allowing, how we're dealing with others in ways that some people can't understand, you know, in the sense that there's like a legal jargon, or there is even like a different language that you're not accustomed to. Some of you might be in a foreign place, or some of you might be having to learn a new language here. And it's kind of like, to me, King of Swords reversed is that place where you have communicative competence in a language, but it's not like fluent. So you have like an understanding, but it's like kind of unclear, and you don't really understand the really colloquial jargon. So you're getting closer to being an expert in something. I feel like you're in like a halfway area with a certain knowledge base. So some of you are like halfway through a language, halfway through a degree, halfway through writing a book, and you're like, I just don't understand the point, or I just can't quite get the sharpness. And that's the hardest part to be at for any of you who are in a goal or are in some type of situation like that, where you have started and you've kind of gone through that honeymoon phase with the new project, and now it's like more than halfway done, and we start to get into that 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands feeling where it's like, oh my God, it's not done yet, but I've invested so much in it, and it's so tedious now. I'm sensing that for you in the 3rd and 4th week. And I think that you just have to push through. It's what your sign is about. It's about endurance, and it's about loyalty and devotion to goals. When the 4th week comes in with Page of Cups reversed, rooted down by the world, the world reversed, you are so close to being where you want to be, or so close to being what you've wanted. And sometimes I feel like this type of energy really illustrates the sacrifices we have to make to be so specialized, or to be so capable. You know, to get that far in your business or in your profession, to rise that high. You know, Capricorn, it's the 10th house. It's the highest point in the zodiac. To get to Mount Everest, you know, to get to those heights, it seems to take sacrifices. And some of you might be feeling that in the 4th week. And there is a question, okay? Because the year of 2023 is going to be a lot about, you know, what are we willing to sacrifice to be seen a certain way, or to be just in a certain proximity, or to be in a certain office or a certain room or a certain, you know, even like digital space or whatever it is, to be in a certain program, to be in a certain venture or business. What are we willing to lose for that stuff? And are there places that are better that don't require certain sacrifices? To me, the world reversed and the Page of Cups reversed, it seems too much sacrificial, or it seems too much like, I can't tell people how I feel. I also have to really stagnate or prolong a sense of difficulty in order to make myself relevant for this. And I think that that's still in 2022. It's like trendy. People really respect it. It's kind of like a, you know, hard work mentality, and which is hard to see. Like, everybody wants to rest, everybody wants to nap. So those people who are, you know, working really hard and pushing their limits and taking on those long work weeks and have like sharpened their work ethic really do have like a 2x multiplier at least in from like 2020 until 2024. This is in effect, even up to like 2027. Sorry, Capricorn, that's really long-term messages, but we have this kind of like, I don't know what I would call it. It's kind of like a portal or a passage point where the majority is trying to pull back or trying to do less. So for those really savvy entrepreneurs, or even just like people who are starting at a very low-level position, who want to put in the work or want to show up early or want to stay late, yeah, you get like double the results with that. But I kind of feel like that's the energy for you all leaving November. And it just depends on your personality and what you want for the future, for how you need to move forward with that. Like, if you've been that for like the last 2 years, I would consider giving yourself like an easier time moving into December and January. But yeah, it's up to you. Anyway, Capricorns, let's talk more about it in your extended reading. I'll talk more about healthier energy output, and I'll talk about understanding, you know, how you can sharpen things up a little bit more, and maybe also save yourself a lot of time and energy just by having a sharper, more smart and refined output. So that'll be linked below, Capricorns. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and share it with someone that you love, with another Capricorn even. Okay, I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great month. Let's do that extended reading. Bye.